A brand new, what they are labeling final trailer for the new He-Man movie, Masters of the Universe, has dropped today. It's out there and it's dropped. Now, for context, before we get into this, I, like many people, have kind of been for why. Why are you doing a He-Man movie? Can this work? And then last year at CinemaCon, they showed us a presentation for it where we went, oh, wait a minute. This looks like it could be pretty good. Then they put out trailers for it. And while I have not hated the trailers, one or two I've liked more than others, I have been, I think it's fair to say, underwhelmed. Even that one trailer that came out that everybody else seemed to like, I was like,
it was generic. It felt generic.
Why do you guys like this trailer? Then they showed us a clip of it at this year's CinemaCon that I thought looked pretty good. So I'm interested in seeing the film. And then the first reactions came out the other day. And beyond the first reaction, I've talked to a couple of people who saw it. And they really liked it. Like, they're saying it's really good. Well, then they put out this final trailer. And, you know, we talked the other day about how it's projecting right now to make $25 to $30 million opening weekend, which is not good for a movie this expensive. Mostly because I don't think the marketing's been good. Well, then they dropped this new trailer today. I have to ask, why in the flippin' hell was this not your first trailer? Why was this trailer not the very first trailer you put out? Because not only was this by far the best trailer they put out, it was an excellent first trailer. You know, it starts off with that, you know, back in the 80s little time thing, and then that guitar, dun, dun, like the He-Man thing, bum, bum, and then the trailer itself was really good.
Yeah, it had echoes of what they tried to accomplish in the first, and then it just went beyond. Yeah.
I just don't understand when you had this trailer in the holster. Why? Because you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. You know what it reminds me of? Go back to Alita Battle Angel. They put out the first trailer, it sunk the movie. Even though the latter trailers they put out after that actually were pretty good trailers, it was too late. It was too late. Once you lose somebody's interest, it's very, very difficult to get it back. And I just feel like, and that's the thing, this trailer doesn't feel like a third or fourth trailer. It feels like a first trailer, right? And it was terrific. It was engaging. I actually felt myself getting excited. Nothing from that I got from the other trailers. And so I have to ask the studio, why is this trailer only coming out now? And why did you not lead off with this? Because I think we would be having very different discussions about Masters of the Universe if this was the first trailer that came out for it. Anyway, Rob, you had a chance to check out the trailer. What did you think about it?
Well, I too was kind of baffled because after looking at all of the stuff, the behind the scenes stuff that we saw and seeing how great the sets were and everything, I felt the trailers were very generic. You know, they're just like, you know, sword and sorcery, super science in a fantasy context. I think if you were to ask me why was that the case, I think the marketing department of this movie was scared of the tone of the actual film itself. And I will say,
I hope you're right.
I think it surprised me because seeing people like Perry Nemiroff talk about the tone of the movie.
Right.
And then reading how people thought that there's lots of goofy humor, but I mean, this is He-Man. This is not Warcraft. You know, this is not Lord of the Rings. This is He-Man. So the tone is really important. And when I heard that, there are two things that happened. The trailer was the second. The first was hearing that piece of score that somebody dropped on X from some, I think, an Italian site. I did not know Brian May is shredding the guitar on this. And look, there are two kinds of people in the world, John. There are people that love Flash Gordon and people that don't. And of course, Queen did the soundtrack for that. And if you buy into Flash Gordon, and I am a Flash Gordon appreciator and lover, that there's a little bit of Flash Gordon. When I heard that piece of music, I'm like, first of all, I love that piece of music. And second of all, I'm like, okay, now I know what the tone of this movie is. The tone of this movie is not some relentlessly serious sword and sorcery epic. It is a crazy combination of that, of fun of the 80s, of the actual cartoon. And I think that the marketing department was scared of that. They felt if they led with that, it would be too goofy. And I think that they felt it when the trailers came out and did not get, the trailers came out and they were fine, but they didn't get any particular traction. And then they probably had a version. I bet that trailer was probably done first. And the marketing department said, no, we can't. We don't want to. This is a $150 million movie. We don't want to show the cartoon first.
Fire that marketing department.
They were worried.
But I mean, all you have to do is watch this trailer.
It's just so much more
I know, but
engaging.
but we know, but these are kids, man. They're like 30-year-olds. They're in there going, there's some ad agency in there. I don't know. No, but then they finally realize after they see the response and what people are the wild response that people love. That's so goofy and fun and this and that and blah blah blah. It's the 80s and people then they're like, you know what? We can go back to that first trailer.
I told John that when we walked in. I said, I wonder if they decided to release this. They shelved it, and when they got that great response yesterday, they're like, drop it.
And they don't have to hide the fact. That's why the movie's called Masters of the Universe, because they didn't have the guts to call it He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. But now it doesn't matter. You see that, and you know what's really funny? I thought Galazine, I thought he was a little generic in the trailers.
I agree. Yep.
And then when you see it,
by the way, how good is he in Sheep Detectives?
He is so
he's
good.
So good.
He's
For
so
those
good
who
at
don't
Sheep.
know,
I didn't realize
He-Man
he's in it.
is in Sheep Detectives, and he's really good in it.
And seeing him like with dark hair and stuff like that. But in this trailer, I'm like, oh, now I get it. So, and by the way, this movie, the trailer looked dope, dude. I'm like, I'm in.
This even had feelings like when you see, I forget this neck guy's name, but it kind of felt like kind of a goofiness that James Gunn would bring to his stuff too, like from the DC characters.
But it's, and I think that, look, and you know what? Trust in Travis. Travis Knight knew
by the way,
assignment.
Thank you to King Daddy Goat, who reminds me that his name is not Nick Galazine. It is Nikki G Spot. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Nikki G Spot.
Okay.
And I am legitimately, for the first time, I'm excited to see this movie now.
Man, as soon as he hopped on Wind Rider, I'm like, yeah.
Anyway.
And more Skeletor.
Everyone's
talking about how great Jared Leto's Skeletor
Well, we
is.
kept hearing that from all the people who saw the film, that his Skeletor is really good.
He goes, and you're Ram Man?
Yeah.
There's
you're
some great
Mechanic.
I mean, why didn't they put that in the first trailer?
I was expecting a Fisto joke, but they didn't. Come on.
I'm just trying to find the money shot. That right there, when they ended with that.
Oh.
I was like, that's a great shot.
We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Pocket Hose. Guys, I'm excited to tell you about the world's #1 expanding garden hose and their brand new product, the Pocket Hose Ballistic. As you guys can imagine, I'm not exactly gentle with my gear. I drag hoses across concrete over the pool, yank them around corners. I even coil and uncoil them all the time to put them in my camper van when I go out on my movie meetups. And generally speaking, a lot of them don't last. But the Pocket Hose Ballistic has been a totally different story for me. It's incredibly durable, super lightweight, and just makes the whole job easier. One of my favorite things is how simple it is to use. You turn the water on, it expands. Turn it off, it shrinks right back down to pocket size. And it's reinforced with a liquid crystal polymer, the same kind of material used in bulletproof vests. Plus, it comes with the pocket pivot, which gives you 360-degree rotation at the spigot so it moves with you instead of fighting against you. And now, for a limited time, when you purchase a new Pocket Hose Ballistic, you'll get a free 360-degree rotating pocket pivot and a free thumb drive nozzle. Just text Campea to 64,000. That's CAMPEA to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. Text Campea to 64,000. Message and data rates may apply. Anyway, guys, question is for you. Did you have a chance to see the new trailer, the final trailer for Masters of the Universe? And do you have the same question that I have? Why was this not your first trailer? Because I think for some people it's too late. I think there are some people they already lost and they're not going to get them back. But anyway, whatever you guys think about it, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.